Tonight, dozens of faith leaders and community members gathered downtown to call attention to conditions that immigrants detained in San Diego are said to be facing.
CBS 8's Esmeralda Perez spoke with a local Congress member who is still pushing for access and answers.
Well, community and local faith leaders are raising concerns about reported conditions immigrants may be facing inside the federal courthouse building. Tonight, they're calling for transparency and change. Right outside the Edward J. Schwartz Courthouse, a prayer vigil turned into a call for answers over growing concerns about the conditions immigrants may be facing in the lower level of the building. People stood together, some holding signs, including one that read, "Nosotros pertenecemos," we belong. That's where I met Dana Fuderick, a community member who felt compelled to be there.
I personally know a couple people in North County who are immigrants who have had contact with some of their family members who are in there, and I've heard it's deplorable. But the fact that they're not willing to let our own representatives, our members of Congress from this area to go down there, people should be outraged and be on this corner every day protesting.
Local members of Congress have been denied entry several times. Representative Juan Vargas, who attended the vigil, told me he's received reports that people are being held in the basement far longer than the 12 hours allowed, some up to a week, and that more than 200 people may be detained there.
So first they said we didn't give them enough time. Then when we gave them enough time, they said, oh, now it's because of the government shutdown. So they changed the reasons. They weren't consistent. And that's why we said, well, come on, you keep changing the rules.
Now that the government shutdown is over, Vargas says his oversight requests are moving forward.
We've submitted the request again. In fact, we've submitted a request. We're also going on the request that was previous. So in other words, there's two requests now. So if they want the 7 days, we've done that. If they want 7 days open, we're going to do that. We're going to give them the 48 hours also. We're going to go through all the darn rules. They just keep changing the rules because they're hiding something.
Representative Scott Peters is also seeking answers. In a statement, he said, I will be submitting another request to visit and conduct oversight at the downtown San Diego ICE facility. I want answers to my questions about the conditions for people being detained there. I did reach out to the Department of Homeland Security seeking more information on the conditions in which immigrants are being held, as well as the agency's plans to address those concerns. When we hear back, we'll go ahead and update the online version of this story at CBS8.com. Esmeralda Perez, CBS 8.